Excellent. Thank you for your patience, everyone. And Maria, I see that we're recording now. Fantastic. All right. We're ready to rock and roll, everyone. Okay. Let's see now.
Thank
you. Okay. Excellent. I'm going to start everyone. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Transfer 101. My name is Janet Robinson, and I'm the Transfer Center Director here at Santa Monica College. And this morning, I'm being joined by three of my amazing colleagues. You may notice them on the side of your screen or in the chat. My colleague, Maria Bonin, Teresa Garcia, and Audra Wells. They're going to be assisting me with answering any questions you might have as we get underway this morning. I also want to begin by letting everyone know that this workshop is being recorded, and you'll be able to rewatch it after today by going to smc.edu/welcome. We're so happy that you have joined us here at Santa Monica College. You could have selected any community college to attend, but you chose us, and we appreciate it. And what you'll see on your screen right now is a picture of some of our students from graduation. And believe it or not, you're going to be here before you know it. I'm going to ask everyone to please mute themselves. And we're getting some feedback. So if everyone could please mute themselves, who's not muted, especially my colleagues that might assist us. Excellent. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for your flexibility this morning. So I was just saying that here's a picture of students from graduation at SMC. And before you realize it, everyone, you're going to be here too. It's going to go by so quickly, but I want you to enjoy the journey. We have so much in store for you at Santa Monica College. A lot of students choose us because they've heard about our history and success with transfer. And so we want you to know that we believe that we're successful with that for a lot of different reasons. A lot of students come to SMC because they know what they want to do. They know that they want to transfer. But sometimes it's the how that gets confusing. You know, how do I do that? I know I want to go to UCLA. I know I want to transfer to USC, but how do I do it? What classes do I take? What are the steps? So that's what we're going to try to provide a brief overview for you today in this workshop to give you some tips about what you can do to be successful if transfer is in fact your goal. One of the other things I want you all to know is that SMC sends students everywhere in terms of transfer. We're so happy about that. We've got students that leave SMC and go to a local school like UCLA that's right down the street from us. Or they go to a school out of state like Arizona State University. We have students that go to Ivy League schools like Columbia or in Stanford. But we also have students that transfer and go to a school in another country. So just FYI, if you'd never thought about it before, you have a lot of transfer options. And so we want to assist you in how you can do that. Now, here's my first tip for all of you. If transfer is your goal, I highly encourage you all to start meeting with a counselor and meeting with a counselor on a regular basis. Just some kind of cool facts for you to know if you weren't aware, but SMC has more counselors on our campus than any other community college. And I share that with you to say, if you're an SMC student and you're not meeting with a counselor on a regular basis, I don't think you're taking full advantage of a major perk of being an SMC student. So please start to meet with a counselor. Now you might say, well, how do I do that? But there's a lot of different ways. One option is that we have so many special programs on our campus. Some of them are going to be highlighted today. So I would highly encourage you to start checking out some of our special programs. And we have like 25 or more. Some examples of our special programs on campus include the Scholars Program, Black Collegians, the Latino Center, the Veterans Resource Center, EOP&S, Guardian Scholars. I could go on and on. We have some amazing programs on this campus. So I hope that all of you are looking into each of those programs, learning more to see if you'd like to join. Once you join one or more of our special programs, they all have their own counselors that are embedded within that special program. So you would have access to counselors that would be readily accessible to you to answer any questions that you have about transfer. But if you're not in any special programs, you're always welcome to come talk with us in the General Counseling and Transfer Services Center. So as an SMC student, you're going to have access to an army, a team of counselors that are going to be able to assist you with getting from point A, which is where you are right now, getting started with us, to point Z, which is transferring to whatever school might be of interest to you. When I said meet with a counselor on a regular basis, personally, I think it's a good idea to try to meet with a counselor at least twice a semester. You can meet with a counselor more than that if you like, but the reason why I like to say at least twice a semester, if you meet with a counselor before it's time to enroll in your classes, it's a great idea to do that so that you can talk to the counselor about what your goals are, and we can make sure that we're helping you pick the right classes for that upcoming term that's going to help you accomplish and move you in the direction of accomplishing that goal. So try to get into a habit of meeting with a counselor at least twice a semester, definitely before you enroll in your courses each term. I also want you to know it's okay to shop around for a counselor. What do I mean by that? When you're first starting with SMC and you go meet with a counselor, you might be assigned with whoever's available that day at that time. But it's okay to see how that session goes. And if you're like, that counselor was really nice, but I kind of want to see some other counselors on campus and see how that goes. And then the next time you come back, you see a different counselor. That's okay. You could potentially meet with a different counselor every single time you want to talk about your classes or goals. But it's also okay that if you were to meet with a counselor and go, wow, I really liked that session with him today. I liked the way he answered my questions. I liked the way he explained things. He explained things really well and it made sense to me. I didn't feel rushed. I want to go back and see him again. That's okay too. You could ask that counselor, hey, remind me, what's your name again? And what days do you work? I'd like to come back and see you the next time I want to talk about my classes. We love that, and that's okay as well. So I just want you all to know that now is a good time for you to start trying to get your team, your success team around you at Santa Monica College. And a great way to do that is to have different counselors that you would like to work with. Maybe you identify 2 to 3 counselors across the campus that you really appreciate meeting with and speaking with. That way, if you have a question and one of the counselors isn't available that day, you might have the other counselors that you could seek out to get some assistance. So you can meet with us individually, or another way to meet with the counselor is by coming to some of our workshops. One of the other perks of being an SMC student is we have a ton of workshops that we offer to you during the year related to transfer. Some examples of workshops that I lead and my colleagues help me with are workshops on how do I transfer to the UC system? How do I transfer to a Cal State? What if I want to go to a private elite school? How do I write my essays that are required for transfer? Do you have any tips on that? How am I going to pay for my bachelor's degree after I transfer? We have workshops that cover all of those topics and more. And those workshops are typically led by counselors. So that's yet another opportunity and way for you to interact with SMC counselors on campus. Some other tips that I wanted to share with each of you is to check out some of the links that we've included in the content tab of today's booth, today's virtual workshop booth. I'm not sure if you have access to them right now, but they'll be available to you again at the end. We've included some very helpful links to you to help you start doing some preliminary research about your transfer goals. And that can be helpful because when you first sit down with a counselor, one of the first questions we're going to ask you is, do you know where you want to transfer? Do you know what your major is going to be when you transfer? It's okay if you don't know the answers to those questions yet, but be prepared that that might be one of the first questions that we ask you. When we have that information, we know where you want to transfer to and we know what transfer major you intend to focus on. That really helps us provide you with the best guidance about what courses you should take and when you should take them. But again, want to reiterate, if you don't know that information quite yet, maybe you're like, I know I want to transfer, but I don't know where yet. And I'm not sure what major I want. That's okay. We're prepared to assist students who are in that situation as well. And you will eventually be able to answer that information. So some other things that can assist you in trying to decide on a major or a school that you'd like to transfer when you leave SMC. A couple of things that we make available to you. We have an awesome college fair that we put on twice a year. We do one in the fall and one again in the spring. I'll tell you more about that college fair a little bit later, but I just want you to know that that is a great way for you to basically shop around for a transfer school. So we'll make that available to you to either confirm your decision about where you want to transfer and give you an opportunity to talk to someone at the fair more about it. Or if you're not quite sure where you want to go, but you want to kind of see what's out there and what your options are. The fair is a great way to start getting an idea about those things. Also, start kind of checking out university transfer websites. Even if it's something as simple as you Googling USC Community College Transfer or Columbia University transfer information. Sometimes you can go directly to that school's website and start to get some preliminary information about what it's going to take for you to transfer there from SMC. But I'll warn you now, sometimes websites can be a little overwhelming. So do your best to decipher what you find on that website. But you can always meet with a counselor and we'll help break it down for you and make sure that you are on the right track to accomplish your goal. Another thing that we do is at Santa Monica College, we bring university representatives to campus. Before the virus, when we were actually on ground on campus, we would have individuals that would come periodically every week and make themselves available to talk to you. They might have a table that was set up in the cafeteria with lots of materials on their school, and you could walk by and collect information and ask them questions. Or sometimes they would pick windows of times when they would be available in the transfer center so that you could book an appointment to sit down and meet with them for maybe 20 minutes at a time to just talk a little bit more. So that's what we used to do when we were on ground. But I want you to know we're still making that available to you, even though we're remote this upcoming semester. We're still booking opportunities for university representatives to lead online virtual workshops about their campus and to give you tips and ideas on how to transfer to them. And we're also allowing them to make one-on-one virtual appointments with you where they'll talk to you via video chat or over the phone. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes out about the different ways that you can engage with university representatives. We send out bulletins on a weekly basis to kind of let you know what's happening in the world of transfer in case you want to participate and take advantage. We post events on our website so that if you're just perusing the SMC website, you can know what's happening that day as it relates to transfer. And another thing I would encourage you all to do if you're not already, start to follow the different social media channels for Santa Monica College. Are you following us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat? Do that because oftentimes the Transfer Center will let students know about upcoming events like the college fair and opportunities to engage with schools via our social media sites. We also encourage you to download the SMC Go app and subscribe to the Transfer channel. We actually have a Transfer channel that you can opt in, and then when we push out information about important deadlines and dates and events related to transfer, you'll be the first to find out about them. Okay, so check that out. And I think we actually put a link on the content section of today's booth with a link for you to download SMC Go and tell you how to opt into that transfer channel. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some important terms as it relates to transfer. Typically, when you've identified what school you would like to transfer to, it's very important for you to find out, what's the minimum number of units I'm going to need before I can transfer to that four-year school. Again, once you've identified what four-year school you like to transfer to, try to figure out what's the minimum number of units you're going to need to complete before you can transfer there. And that minimum number of units is not the same for all four-year schools. It can vary. But just for the sake of our example today, let's talk about if you want to transfer to a UC, one of the University of California, or CSU, California State University campuses. If you'd like to transfer to a UC or a Cal State, the minimum number of units you're going to need to complete with us is going to be 60, all right? And the courses that you take to complete the 60 units that you'll need to transfer to a UC or CSU campus may fall into one or more of the following categories. First, some of the courses you might take might be considered what we call general education courses, or sometimes you'll hear students refer to them as GE courses. You might be wondering, What's a GE all about? What's general education all about? Well, I'll give you a thumbnail definition of GE courses, or general education. Here in the United States of America, we believe that every college student, no matter what their intended major is, should take some courses that are going to allow them to be well-rounded citizens or individuals. It's just something that we do in the United States. Those general education courses that help you be a well-rounded individual are classes like everybody's got to take a little bit of math, everybody's got to take a little bit of English, a little bit of science, a little bit of humanities. So some of the courses that you'll have to take that make up your 60 units will be in the form of some general education courses. And a counselor can talk to you about your general education courses that need to be completed. But then also where the fun part comes in is you may have some courses that you have to complete that also make up the 60 units you'll need to transfer. Some of those courses will be what we call major coursework. And as the name implies, these will be classes you get to take that are specifically related to the major that you've identified for yourself. So an example might be if you're like, oh, I totally want to be a business major when I transfer. We'll help you identify what are the business courses that you'll have to take prior to transfer. You might have to take some marketing, some finance, some accounting, but there'll be things related to the major that you've identified. Sometimes when you take all of your general education courses and all of your major coursework, you have what you need in terms of the minimum number of units required to transfer. GEs plus major coursework may give you the 60 units you need. But sometimes, depending on the school you want to transfer to and the major you've identified, you may take all your GEs and all your major courses and you still don't have 60 units yet. So what do you do then? You may have to take some additional courses just to get you to the 60 unit minimum that's required. And if that happens, we call those courses electives. Okay? I know that this may be a lot, and you might be listening going, makes perfect sense to me. Or you might be listening going, wait, I don't get it. What did she say? Don't worry. Transfer is not something that people were born understanding. And it sometimes can take a while to kind of figure it out and understand it all. But that's why we're here for you as counselors, to remind you of these things and help you understand them and how they all work together. We will do that for you, with you. A couple things I want to say about English and math courses. Just some friendly reminders. You know, what I'm about to say may not apply to all of you, but there might be some of you on this webinar today that say, you know, I'm starting SMC and I don't feel very confident about my math skills. Math is not my thing. I'm not good at math. Or you might feel the same about your writing skills. And the one thing I would encourage all of you, if that's you, and again, I know it's not all of you, but if that's you, please, 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 I encourage you, don't be afraid to lean into taking those courses that kind of intimidate you or make you feel a little bit anxious. It's going to be important that you still take your math and English courses and lean into them, even if they scare you a little bit. Just know that you're going to have support available to you in the form of your professors at SMC. So if you're not understanding something in class, you can always let your professor know that you need some further explanation on a comment, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Don't feel bad or feel ashamed about having to seek out help if you need it. We all need help along our college career paths, so it's okay to do that. So don't be afraid. Just seek out support services to help you make it in those math classes and in that English class, or whatever course that might cause you some anxiety. Don't be afraid of it, especially if transfer is your goal, because you're going to need to take some English and math just to transfer in most cases. The other thing I want you to know is each of you may have different levels of English and math that you're going to have to complete before you transfer. For example, if you're pursuing a transfer major that's related to the sciences, you may have a lot of math classes that you have to take before you leave us. And you have different ways that you can go about doing that. Remember that at SMC, you have the ability to take courses year-round. You can take courses during our short sessions, which we refer to as winter intersession and summer intersession. We just finished summer recently. Those typically last 6 to 8 weeks. So they're not very long, but they cram a whole semester's worth of information into that 6 to 8 weeks. So they're pretty intense. So if you'd like, you can take courses during our short sessions, whether they be English, math, or any other courses. You can take courses during intersession, or you can take courses during our long sessions, which is the full fall semester or spring semester, which is typically 16 to 18 weeks. So just know that you have options, students, as to how you approach taking all of your courses. But again, in particular for English and math, don't be afraid. Go ahead and lean into it and just talk to a counselor about how to approach and when to schedule your math courses that you need to accomplish your goal. I told you already about our virtual college fair. Our college fair that we do every year. What you're seeing on the screen right now is just an aerial shot of what it would typically look like on fair day when we were on ground before the virus. It was such a beautiful sight to behold. We would take over our outside quad fountain area, and you would just see the entire area just flanked with tables of representatives from different colleges from all over the globe. And then you could just walk around and talk to as many schools as you could between the hours of 10:30 and 1. So we're hoping to get back to that again, but we want you to know that just because now we're all remote because of the virus, we're still doing our college fair. And it's being scheduled for Thursday, October 15th, again between the hours of 10:30 and 1. And we're still going to make virtual booths or tables available to you. So you'll be able to register for that fair in advance or on the day of, and get a chance to virtually go in and out of virtual booths for different schools and actually engage in a video or written chat with a representative for 10 to 15 minutes at a time about questions that you have. So I just want you to go ahead, mark your calendars now for Thursday, October 15th. And don't worry, we'll be hitting you with lots of great information about the fair leading up to that day, probably through social media. So again, make sure you're following all of the SMC social media channels so you'll know about all of our exciting events coming up in the world of transfer. So as I begin to kind of wrap up my time with you, and don't worry, this workshop goes until 10:45, so I'm going to make myself available to answer questions that you might have. But as I start to wrap up, I just want to reiterate to all of you that you are about to start a very exciting chapter in your academic journey. And it's not going to be an easy one all the time. You have a lot of classes ahead of you. You've got papers and exams and quizzes and presentations that are going to be required of you while you're with us. But you're going to make it, and you can do it. And we're going to be here with you every step of the way. I sometimes like to use an analogy of riding in a car. So picture us in a car, and you're the one in the driver's seat. So you've got your hands on the steering wheel, and you decide where we go, which direction. And you also control the gas pedal and the brake. You get to decide how quickly or how slowly we go, and even if we decide to stop. But in that vehicle, you have people with you to assist you, like a counselor. You can put us in the passenger seat or you can put us in the back seat. But you have individuals in the car with you that are there to provide you with some guidance and advice. Sometimes we've been already down the journey that you're heading, so we know from experience how we can help guide you and direct you. And even if you've never been where you want to go, we know how to help you chart out the directions and the map to get there. So as long as you are ready and excited about this journey that's about to start, we're here to assist you every step of the way. So we welcome you to Santa Monica College, and we have a phrase that we love to say, and I hope you're ready to start screaming it from the rooftops already, but it's proud to be SMC. I got to tell you, I'm proud to work at Santa Monica College, and I know all of my colleagues feel the same. So thank you so much for choosing us, and I hope you all have a fantastic year. At this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and pop over and see if I might be able to answer any questions that you all might have as it relates to transfer. And maybe, I don't know if let's see, I'll take a look at the discussion section. And I don't know, Maria, if you're still there somewhere, maybe you can let me know if there's any particular questions that still need to be answered or that I can assist with. If not, I'm just perusing. And students, if you have any questions, please feel free to put those into the discussion section of today's workshop. Oh, hi, Teresa. I can't hear you, though. Oh, hi, Audra. Hey, everybody. These are my two counseling colleagues that are helping me out today.
Hi there. We were kind of looking through the discussion questions to see if there were any questions that came through.
Oh, okay.
While you were talking. So we're kind of doing that right now.
I see that. I'm joining you. There's a lot of questions.
Are they able to chime in or only by discussion and text?
They're only able to post questions in the discussion.
Perfect. Okay.
section. Yeah.
So I answered something about let's see, what was the intercession? I said it's an 8-unit maximum during intercessions. Intercessions are winter and summer, just to.
Yes. And everybody's different. I like to just add something else about intercessions. Sometimes when I talk with a student and they'll say, oh, I think I want to take this class during the summer. And they're totally able to do that. But sometimes a counselor will talk to you and say, hey, what else is going on in your life this summer? Are you working a job? How many hours do you work for your job? Or what other responsibilities? Are you maybe moving this summer? Sometimes when you talk to a counselor about what you have planned, we can sometimes let you know if we think that that's a good time for you to take a class or not. Some students love to take classes during the intersessions, even though they're really intense and they go by super fast. For some students, they love that. Like, that's their favorite thing. They're like, oh yeah, just that one class and I can focus on it. I'm all about that. Whereas there might be other students that go, oh no, I can't even imagine taking that class over 8 weeks. Like, that just sounds so overwhelming and scary. I would so rather take that class over a full semester. So just know that these are the types of things that if you've never thought about them before, they're good to talk about with a counselor before you commit or enroll in a class. Talk it out with us and we can give you some advice on what might be the best time for you to take a class. Someone's asking, when do you need to complete the major requirements to transfer to a UC school? Great question. Ideally, you want to try to finish as many of the major requirement courses as possible before you transfer. Because think of it this way, everybody, and I'm sure I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, but the transfer process is very competitive. Okay, you have to compete with other people that want to go to that same school for that major, and they can't take everybody. So it can get competitive. It's not to scare you, it's just to keep it real. And so how do you make yourself be the most attractive applicant when you're applying to a school for a major? Sometimes it can be making sure you take as many, if not all, of the major requirement courses as possible. Because if, let's say, the same 2 students apply to the same school for the same major, and one student has done all of the major prep and the other student hasn't done all of the major prep, oftentimes a student who's done all or more of the major prep is a more attractive applicant to that school. So again, it's not to speak in absolutes and scare you all, but these are some of the reasons why the sooner you can decide and lock and load on a transfer school and major, the better prepared a counselor can be to kind of walk you through the courses that you need and help you map that out so that you can be the most attractive transfer applicant as possible when you're ready to apply. Someone's asking, what happens if I have a class during the college fair? That's a fair question, because you're right, the fair is only between 10:30 and 1. That was the window of time, both when we were on campus and for the virtual fair we have planned. One thing I can tell you that's kind of a good thing about the virtual fair, the information that any of our schools post in their virtual booths, even if you're not able to join that day and chat with them live, you'll still be able to access the information that they post in their virtual booth. So you'll have access to some information, which is better than none. And then even if worst case scenario, you weren't able to join the fair, that's why I talked about some of the other ways and resources that we have available for you all to engage with university reps, with them coming to campus or you going onto their website or meeting with a counselor who can help you learn more about them. So you have many different ways to shop around and learn about your transfer options. Let's see. I'm seeing some specific questions, which I love. When I see questions that are like, oh, what about business major? And what about, this particular major? Excellent questions, everybody. What I kind of hope to generate from this workshop is get you so excited that you're like, I can't wait to talk to a counselor. I've got so many questions that I really want to just sit down or go be online with somebody and really start to talk. That's what I want. So all of you who are saying, what about accounting major? What about this major? What do I do? I want you to make an appointment to talk to a counselor as soon as possible. The best discussion about transfer is actually a one-on-one conversation, everyone. Of course, we do these workshops so that we can speak to the masses and push out general information, but we can't really do you justice unless we can talk to you one-on-one, because each of you are so specific and individual. You have different majors that you're pursuing. You have different schools that you want to transfer to. So you really need to have a one-on-one discussion with the counselor to really find out what the next steps should be. Okay. Let's see. We're just scrolling everybody through all of these. So feel free to jump in, Teresa or Audra.
There's a few questions about UCLA and the TAP program and all. I guess we should just say that that is the next workshop, which Audra and I will be leaving for soon, which is SMC to UCLA, Show Me the Way, and we'll go over TAP in that.
Yes, and my colleagues are being very modest right now, but everybody, Teresa and Audra are counselors that work in our amazing Scholars or Honors program. There are specific requirements you have to meet to be a part of the Scholars program, but I would encourage you all to go to their workshop, hear a little bit more about Scholars, because if you are eligible, it would be a wonderful program for you to participate in that comes with lots of wonderful resources and perks. But let me also say, if you find out that you don't meet the requirements to be a part of Scholars, you don't have to feel bad about that either. We have a lot of students that transfer to amazing schools all across the state and country that weren't necessarily in the Scholars program. So just want you to know, check out Scholars and all of our special programs and join if you can. Let's see.
Janet?
Yeah.
I believe general counseling is on drop-in only for a while.
That is correct. That is correct. And let me say a little bit more about that. Sometimes during the majority of the school year, everyone, typically appointments to see a counselor, generally speaking, they're 30 minutes long. So if you have a question and you want to connect with a counselor, typically you can get 30 minutes of our time for us to kind of connect with you and talk about what your goals are and give you some great advice based on what your goals are. But during the really busy times of the year, like now, like at the beginning of the semester, and also right around enrollment time, sometimes in some of the departments on campus, like the General Counseling and Transfer Services Center, it is so busy that we can't have our 30-minute appointments. We need to be able to see as many students as possible, as quickly as possible. So we don't allow for appointments, those 30-minute appointments right now, only because we're trying to see it service as many of you as possible to help you really get onboarded to the school and get into your classes. So just know that right now you can't really do you can't book a 30-minute appointment. You can only do like get in a queue and the first available counselor will talk to you. But after that, usually after like the first week, then things start to slow down and you can call and book an appointment to see a counselor. Let's see. Someone's saying, what's the best media to follow for updates regarding transfer for SMC? I just think it's a good idea to, again, follow Santa Monica College on Facebook. We have an official Facebook page. We also have Snapchat. We have Instagram. And now for those three outlets that I just mentioned, Facebook, IG, and Snapchat, we're pushing a lot of information about the college. So it's not only transfer specific. There'll be some transfer information, but not exclusively. If you want access to transfer specific information, then the best thing for that is to download the SMC Go app. And when you download the SMC Go app, we have several channels that you can opt into. And one of the channels that you can opt into is a transfer channel. And if you opt into that transfer channel, then we push out a lot of information that is specific to transfer that you will get when we send those out. So those are just some different social media outlets that I think would be ideal for you as a new SMC student.
Janet, there are such amazing questions on here. I just wanted to let you know, I know you mentioned this, but I'm going to reiterate it, is one of the best things that these workshops can do, since we can't cover absolutely everything in such a short time, is to kind of generate these questions so that you know what to talk to your counselor about, that you know there's a program called TAG, and you know that there's a UC TAP planner that you can start, that there's, you know, it's good to have these resources just in the back of your mind so you can bring them up with your counseling appointment. So I just want to commend the students for really engaging in this and asking such amazing questions. We're keeping up with as much as we can. I'm doing a lot of replies, but I love these questions. They are perfect questions to bring to your counseling appointment. Yeah.
Thank you, Audra. I totally agree. I'm looking at the questions too, and you guys are asking great questions. And Audra's right. Come see us. Well, even if we're not able to answer all your questions today, meeting with a counselor will give you an opportunity to get even more information that's tailored to you. Yeah. It looks like a lot of you are just kind of connecting with each other. And that's kind of fun too. You know, on that note, I know it may not, I was going to say it's not related to transfer, but it kind of is. Let me say too, and I think it's happening today, or it may have happened earlier in the week, but we have a lot of different clubs and organizations that are available to you as an SMC student. And that's beneficial on multiple levels. One, if you're just looking to meet people, you want to make friends, joining clubs and organizations and special programs is a way to do that. So that's why connect and join different clubs and special programs, because then you'll have that common thread or denominator with other people on campus to kind of bring you together. As it relates to transfer, joining those different special programs and joining clubs and organizations can also look good on a transfer application. For example, if any of you want to transfer to a UC school, they actually have a section on their transfer application where they ask you to put in any extracurricular activities you have. Like, have you been a part of any clubs and organizations? Do you do any volunteer work on campus or in the community? So I just want you to know, joining clubs and organizations can be beneficial to help you meet people, but it can also help you towards accomplishing your goal of transfer. And meeting people is helpful too. Remember, not just socially, but to also have people that you can maybe take classes with if you have similar interests. And then maybe you can have the buddy system and have a study group to kind of do homework together or prepare for tests together. So there's some benefits to that. I met my best friend in college because we were in a class together and we started studying together and preparing for our exams together. And we're friends to this day. And I met her many, many years ago. So you might make some friends at Santa Monica College, everybody, that will be friends for life. And that's a special thing.
Janet?
Yeah.
Some people are asking about GED. And
Say that one more time.
Some people are asking about GED.
GED.
And the requirement for transfer.
Yeah, what I would say to that is it depends on the transfer school. But generally speaking, everyone, you don't have to have graduated from high school to come to a community college. Oh, and Teresa, we can hear you. That's okay. But so feel free if you want to mute yourself, then we won't be able to hear. But everyone, you don't necessarily have to graduate from high school. Sometimes people are afraid, oh, if I didn't graduate from high school, is that going to like nix my chances for transfer? No. Usually, coming to community college can be a nice way to hit the reset button. Like say you went to high school, but you didn't finish, or you went to high school and you finished, but you didn't do as well as you would have liked, and you're kind of looking for a fresh start. You can come to a community college and kind of get a chance to start over. It's a second chance. And so if you didn't have the best study habits or work habits in high school, you can change that, everybody. You can turn things around. And a lot of four-year schools, they take two different types of applicants. They take applicants directly out of high school, and those are considered freshman applicants. And then they take students coming from community colleges, and those are transfer applicants. You all, by coming to SMC, will now be considered transfer applicants. And for the most part, the four-year schools are going to judge you for admission based on how you do with us. So I just want you to know, don't get in your own way. We have to sometimes be careful of our own negative tapes that we keep playing over and over in our own head. Like, what do I mean by that? Let's talk about math again. Some of you that might be like, oh, I'm not good at math. I didn't do well at math in high school. Well, you know what? You're at SMC now. And SMC has some amazing teachers. And maybe you just haven't had the best teacher to help you understand it. So hit that reset button and say, you know what? I'm going to take these classes. I'm going to do my best. You might have to do things a little differently now than you did them in high school. Maybe in high school, you could write that paper the night before and turn it in and still do okay. Maybe you might find at SMC that's not working as well as it used to. So you might have to put a little bit more time and energy into your assignments than before, but you absolutely can hit the reset button and start a new chapter academically for yourself. And those of you who did great in high school, and put them into play at Santa Monica College. So it's an exciting time for all of you. You're starting such a wonderful chapter, and we're so glad you're starting it with us. Let's see, I'm looking at the time. We only have like about 4 more minutes, everyone. So let me see if there's any other questions that I can maybe answer. And I'm seeing someone that made a comment that they've taken a break since high school. They took a break and now they're coming back. We're all for that. We welcome everybody. That's the beauty of community college, everybody. We've got students who are coming to us right out of high school, just graduated in June. We've got people that haven't been in school in years, but they're coming back because they feel like now's the time. We welcome all of you. And you know what? That's a beautiful mix in classes. When you're together in a class, you really have different strengths that you can share with each other. And so I just want you all to know that you're going to make some great friends and meet a lot of people. And don't be shy if you meet somebody who has a totally different background than you. They might be able to help you in ways, and you can help them in different ways. So that's one of the reasons why I love working at a community college. We get everybody. Well, everyone, we have a couple more minutes left. Let's see. Let me just do a little commercial plug. We still have several workshops for the rest of today, so check out all the amazing workshops available for you. This was recorded. This session has been recorded, and it's going to be available for you to watch again. So if you had some friends who weren't able to participate today, they'll be able to watch this too. And check out all the links that we have available to you on the content tab of this virtual workshop. We couldn't put them all because there's a ton. There's a ton of transfer-related resources we could give you, but we kind of highlighted some of the bigger ones that we think might be helpful and give you a place to start. So please check out the links that we have for you under the content section. Okay, let me see.
Amazing workshop, Janet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and let me thank my colleagues for being here today. Everybody, I'm gonna be honest with you, when I was told we might have tons of people on this workshop, I was like, I need help. And so these are my amazing colleagues that are here. And you haven't seen Maria Bonin. She hasn't shown her face, but I want you all to know that